The 5 reasons why branding yourself is good for business. So tonight's broadcast is really going to be good for you if you are a business owner. Now, you could be an online business owner or you can own a storefront, and this will be beneficial to you as well. And obviously, I love to bring you guys like real life, personal experience, things I've seen from colleagues, peers, and obviously my own journey. I like to bring these experiences to you and teach you how you can avoid a lot of the mistakes I made in the beginning, especially in this whole world of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship, and I think I said this in my first book, is the new American dream. So we see it here on Facebook in itself, how many entrepreneurs, how many business owners are popping up on the scene literally every single day, whether you are part of a network marketing company or you're starting your own product-based company from the ground up. Entrepreneurs are everywhere, like literally everywhere. And that could be a good or a bad thing, but that's just the way the world is going in. And so quick introduction first, because I know there are several of you who are probably joining me for the very first time. My name is Natasha Weston, and I am a best-selling author, millennial mom, and a personal branding strategist. And so I help my clients to turn their everyday situations into powerful and profitable personal brands. And a lot of my clients have actually started, they ventured into this whole entrepreneurial space with just personal brands, and now they're launching businesses. So they did it the complete opposite of what I did, and that's really why I'm passionate about sharing this particular topic with you, because if you know me, you know my background, but for those of you who don't, let me catch you up fairly quickly. I started off in entrepreneurship by accident. I went to New York City to pursue a career in fashion styling. Ended up interning for BET 106 in Park. Interned with Kendrell Bowman. We styled K. Michelle when she had the bright blue hair. And I had that whole life in the fashion world. And so after venturing into that a little bit, I started to realize that I had entrepreneurship inside of me, and it was something that I wanted to pursue. And so without having any audience, no one really knowing who I was, I jumped head on into starting a business without really not understanding the importance of people knowing who Natasha was. And that's a mistake that I see a lot of entrepreneurs and new business owners making, is thinking that just because you have a great product or a great service that your customers and clients are going to just come knocking your door down. And I had to learn that the hard way. I had started this business and it quickly got shut down because I had no audience. Nobody really knew who I was except for family, friends, and obviously people who I had already had relationships with in the fashion and public relations industry. And so it was super challenging for me to, say, okay, let me pump the brakes and allow people into my world and allow them to get to know who I am so that they're comfortable enough with me to give me their business. So I hope that makes sense. I hope you guys are following me here. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, because I recently, after kind of taking the summer off from taking on a lot of one-on-one clients for personal branding development, I'm just now really getting back into one-on-one with my coaching and really working hands-on with developing entrepreneurs out here with their personal brands. And so I've been doing a lot of discovery calls and meeting and talking to a lot of potential clients in the last couple of weeks. And one thing that I noticed is that a lot of business owners are disregarding the importance of their personal brands. Everybody's just so focused on pushing a product and pushing a service until you're not realizing that this whole space, especially online, is so crowded. The best way that you can stand out is to brand yourself. And so yeah, if you're a business owner and you're in here, can you type 1 in the comments so I can see like how many entrepreneurs and small business owners do I have here tonight, so that I know exactly who I am talking to. So here's the real deal, guys. And if you're still kind of confused, think about it this way. Like if you're a hairstylist, if you are a makeup artist, if you are the person providing someone with a service, meaning you're not outsourcing or hiring it out. You're literally the one providing the service. You're the one shipping out the products. You're the one that's offering the coaching and the consulting. That's a personal brand, right? So when people hire you, I can almost, okay, awesome, I see the ones, perfect. I can almost guarantee you that they are hiring you simply because they like you. They are not looking at your logo. They're not looking at your website. They're not looking at how fancy your building or setup is. They are hiring you because they like you. They either love your personality, they love your conversation, or they probably just want to come sit in your chair because they love hearing about your weekend, festivities and things that you get into. They probably like hearing about your relationship if you talk about that. They probably like hearing about your life as a mom. They probably like hearing, it's kind of like when you go to the barbershop, right? If you haven't noticed, barbershop and salon talk are pretty much kind of the same. Like, they're talking about life situations. They're talking about what happened the weekend before. They're talking about the game. They're talking about something that they have a common interest in, right? Y'all following me? So when people hire you, when people buy your product, when they buy your book, when they hire you to design their website, a lot of times it's not just solely based off of how great the product or service is. It's because they like you. And this is even more of the reason why really starting to pay attention to your personal brand is super duper 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 important. So are you guys following me here? Let me know. Give me a smiley face in the comments if you are following me. And so when I started to shift when I started to shift my focus more from pushing product, to really allowing, hey Faith, to really allowing people into my world a little bit and allowing them to see my personality, allowing them to see who I was as an individual, I noticed how many more people felt open enough to hire me or to even learn more about what I can offer. And guys, if you see me looking down, it's because I have notes for y'all tonight. So I'm going to try and tell you when to take notes and the really important parts to make sure that you catch. So why is this important? This is important because as a business owner, our end goal, it doesn't matter what your business is, our end goal is to attract and gain new clients and customers, and number two, to keep the recurring ones. So we not only want to get new people in our business, we not only want to attract new business, we want to maintain and keep those clients and customers that we already have. It's kind of like building a relationship. So you meet a guy, ladies, and this could be vice versa. Ladies, we meet a guy and, on the first date, you're asking the basic questions. We want to know, what happened in your last relationship. We want to know how many siblings you have. Are you an only child? What are your parents like? Are your parents married or divorced? We ask like basic questions. And if that goes good enough, then we might go on a second date with you, right? And then a third, and then a fourth, and then a fifth. And then for most of us, the ultimate goal is what? Marriage, right? So if you think about, approaching your business from this perspective, your personal brand is the relationship. It's the courting part of you getting a customer familiar with you enough to where they want to marry you, aka exchange their money for a product or service. Do you guys follow me here? Are y'all following me? Y'all following me? Hey, Pastor. My pastor's here, y'all. So that's how I think about my personal brand. Every time I send an email, post something on social media, Snapchat, anytime I let you guys into my world, that's a part of me building a relationship with you. I can't just go completely ghost or not let you into knowing about me and then pop up in a month and say, hey, I've got a book out. Can you buy it? Can you support it? Hey, I'm taking clients. And then you give me, $1,300, $1,400 to do whatever. You get what I'm saying? And so it's kind of like it's back to dating in a relationship. You can't expect something in exchange for nothing, right? So by you showing up and allowing people into your space and really building your personal brand, getting out there, speaking at different events, educating your audience on not only who you are, but what your lane of expertise is. That is all going to be good for your business. Okay, so when customers, write this down, when customers have the opportunity to get to know you, they will eventually trust you enough to put money in your pocket. And I repeat that one more time. When your customers have the opportunity to get to know you, they will eventually trust you enough to put money in your pockets. That's the end goal, right? That's the end goal. That's the end goal. Quick statistic, and you can write this down as well. I'm really big on stats. IBM did a study. I'm not sure when. I know it was recent. So between 2016 and now, IBM did a study where they found out that 71% of CEOs of major corporations believe that human capital is the key source of economic value. What does that mean? That means human capital. Let's break that down. Human capital is leveraging your personality, your expertise, your experience, your stories, leveraging that to build relationships with clients and customers, and in exchange, gaining a new customer or client. That's what human capital is. Your personal brand allows you to build human capital. And the more human capital you have, the more visible you are, the more people can repeat your name to other people, share your broadcast, purchase your products, whether it be for themselves or for someone else, the more your business will be valued at, and the more customers and clients you will have. So I thought that was a pretty interesting study to bring to the table. Now let's go ahead and get into the 5 points, because I could talk about this all night. So if you have not shared this yet and you think this would be beneficial to someone you know, then go ahead and hit that. I think it's down in this corner. Go ahead and hit that share button, and let's share this information out with as many people as possible. Don't be selfish. Share this out, because I do believe this will change the perspective that you may have about personal branding. The number one reason why branding yourself is great for business is because it gives you the opportunity to make a direct impact in your customer's life. It gives you the opportunity, and write these down, guys, to make a direct impact in your customer's life. So you can do this by using any particular experience that really shifts your life to build an emotional bond with your audience. Think about the last business you purchased a product or a service from. I can almost guarantee you, when you met that individual who you purchased from, you basically hired them. A part of your purchasing decision came from the fact that they told you a story. They built some sort of emotional connection with you. You related to something they said, and that is why they hired you. That's why they hired you. And so branding yourself gives you this opportunity. I think personal branding is really the only opportunity that allows you to really put your story in the limelight and leverage the heck out of it. And one person in particular that does a great job at this that I've seen is, I don't know if she's in here, but Tamika Sims. Tamika is an editor and writing coach, and she has a women's group called The Self-Assured Woman. And I see how Tamika uses her story and her history with domestic violence. And so now she has this large community, thousands of women right here online who are so emotionally connected to Tamika, until several of them have hired Tamika to coach them through writing their books and editing their books and offering that type of service to share their stories in the way that she did. And so that's just an example of how you can really utilize your personal brand to make direct impact in your audience's life. The second reason is it gives you credibility. And I don't care what anybody says. If you don't have credibility, you don't have a business. You might make a sale once and fool somebody, but if you're not credible, if you don't have, hi Erica, if you don't have integrity standing behind you, if people can't trust you enough or know you well enough to purchase from you multiple times, then you don't really have a business. At some point, it is going to fall. And so you have to have credibility. And credibility shows that you have expertise in a particular area. For me, my area of expertise, which I can tell you and everybody else will tell you, I am a brand fanatic. I love branding and marketing. Like, period. Branding and marketing, I can talk about it all day. I'm obsessed with it. I read books about it. I get alerts about it. I read about it. I'm always studying it because this is not only how I increase my value and my worth to my clients, but it's how I'm able to speak on it without just saying something. I have experience to back it up, right? And so you need credibility in order to really get those good customers and clients coming in. A great example of building credibility is Morgan, and I don't want to butcher her last name, but Morgan DeBon. She's the founder and CEO, or co-founder and CEO of Blavity. And Blavity is an online media platform created by millennials for millennials, excuse me. It's one of my favorite Black-owned websites or blogs to tune into, to follow on social media, because it's relatable. But one way that the founder, Morgan, is branding herself is that she speaks at events like surrounding the topics of women in technology, women in entrepreneurship, and she goes there and she shares the story of how she started this website. And as a result of that, I'm sure there are a whole ton of people in the audience who may have never heard of her website before, but after hearing Morgan's story and after seeing Morgan at so many different events, then they begin to form interest in her website, therefore maybe becoming subscribers, maybe purchasing ad space, or however the website runs. But the point is, Morgan is branding herself. She's always going to be at these tech events. She's been at a ton of them just in this year alone. And that's how she brings awareness to her business. You guys still here with me? Let me tap the heart, the likes. Let me make sure y'all are still following me here. Make sure y'all are still following me here. The third reason that branding yourself is good for business is because, again, and this may be a little repetitive, but it allows you to build the T word. Can y'all guess what the T word is? Trust. It allows you to build trust, and that trust and credibility goes hand in hand. You need both to run a sustainable, profitable business. It allows you to build trust. A business is only as strong as the person who is behind it, because we buy from people, or we trust people more than we trust a brand, right? So think about the last time you approach a potential customer or client. I can almost guarantee you approach them with the product before you approach them with the person. And my motto is, write this down, y'all: person first, product second. Person first, product second. If you start approaching your business this way, I can guarantee you, you will see an increase in sales and awareness. Person first, product second. Not the other way around. Don't approach your client with the product first. Approach them with the person first. And this is a mistake that a lot of people make, because especially online, when you go and add someone and then you automatically get in their inbox and you drop a link to your product. No. You could have the most banging product on the planet, but do not approach your customer with the product first. A simple introduction. Especially in network marketing. It's like infamous in network marketing. The best way to approach your clients, especially online, if they've never met you, they don't know anything about you. One thing that I do a lot, like if I want to gain someone's attention on social media who doesn't know me from a can of paint, what I'll do is I will engage with that person. And this is how I do it on social media. Take note. If I see someone that maybe is in a group, a Facebook group that I'm in, or they're commenting on an Instagram post that I like, and I notice that their comment is maybe a problem that I can solve for them, or maybe I feel like they would benefit from a podcast episode, or just from my brand in general, if I feel like that person is my ideal customer or client, I will not go in their DMs and start talking to them. what I'll do is I'll probably go like maybe 7 or 8 or sometimes 10 pictures, because not everybody's doing that. So when they go to check their notifications, guess whose name they're going to see? Mine. And when they see my name so many times, it's like trigger finger. They're going to go click on my page to see what the heck is this girl about? Like, what is she doing? And they read my bio, or they go and they see the first maybe 3 or 4 photos or statuses that I've written. And if it's something that relates to what they need, they're going to follow me, like me, go to my website, maybe buy a product, maybe contact me for coaching, whatever the case may be. So do you see how I did that? I never inbox them. I just engage with them. And then you can even, if you don't want to go and like all their pictures and stuff, because that might seem a little stalkerish. I mean, you don't have to go to that extreme, but I do sometimes. You know, I'll maybe respond. If they have asked a question somewhere, I'll respond to the question, or I'll even hit the heart button on their comment. All of that is how you engage with your potential customer or client without pushing a product or a service in their face at your first introduction. So if you missed it, approach your potential customers person first, product second, not the other way around. Okay? Let me think of some other people who do a really good job at this. Let's use the black young lady who is I think she's the first chief brand officer with Uber. Like, she's been all over the press lately. She's another example of someone who is leveraging their personal brand to bring awareness to Uber. Now, we know Uber just went through a huge scandal. I'm sure their sales declined and everything else. We all heard about it. But it seemed like when this young lady got in position, a lot of people forgot about the scandal because she was in the forefront of the brand. She was doing all of the interviews. She was changing the narrative. She was changing the narrative, and she was giving it from her perspective. And because people loved her, whether it was her personality, her history, her background, or whatever the case may be, it shifted the negative attention from the company, Uber, and now here we are, right? So she's another good example of building her personal brand. I mean, I could go on and on for days. I gave the example about Morgan. Mingley does this a lot. My friend Kashira does this really well. She has a business. As a matter of fact, our businesses are very similar. But Kashira always lets us into her world, especially on Instagram and here on Facebook. She goes live a lot. She speaks at a ton of events. And she uses vending as a way to push her Life of a Bombshell Cosmetics. So she's not always just talking about her beauty products. She's going to these events, and then she's speaking, showing her expertise, allowing people to build that connection with her. And then after they have gotten value from her, then they can go and purchase her products if they like it, right? So that's just another example. I can literally go on and on for days. Another person who I'm so proud to be on his team for his book coming out in January. Damon John does this very, very well. He's on Shark Tank. So Shark Tank allows him to put more eyeballs on his various businesses. And we know he has a lot of those. So we could go on and on for days about business owners who are leveraging their personal brands to grow their businesses. So the fourth reason is that it allows you to tell a story that prospective customers can relate to. So there may be some instances, and I know this has been with me as well, where people didn't even know I had a business, but they learned about it through my personal brand. So what do I mean by that? They learned about it through listening to me on a podcast, seeing me speak at an event, seeing my photos on Instagram, whatever, however they were attracted to me, they were attracted to me, the person first, and then they discovered that I had a business that had something that could offer them some type of solution. And so this is where your story comes into play, and it kind of goes back to the example I gave about, or with Tamika Sims, with how she uses her online community, or she has her online community that allows her to continuously tell her story on a platform to where they can also become prospective customers. Quick example of this is Michaela, who, and you guys have heard of her, I'm sure. She's the young girl who started Me and the Bees Lemonade. And I believe she just got like $1 million contract with Whole Foods like last year sometime. My first time interacting with her was at the United States of Women Summit that I went to in DC last year. She actually introduced President Obama. And it was just so amazing to see this young girl out here speaking and sharing the story of how she started her business and really interacting not just with kids her age, but with grown people. And so if you've never heard her story, this is the story that she tells, and this is how she gains a lot of her customers. When she was like really young, like maybe 3 or 4, I won't say 3, but maybe 4 or 5, she entered some type of business competition where she had to create some type of product. Well, her grandmother, around the same time of her thinking about what type of business she wanted or product she wanted to create, she got stung by a bee twice, which happened to me in real life, y'all. And her grandmother sent her cookbook, which had some type of flaxseed lemonade recipe in it. That was her grandmother's recipe. So this then sparked Michaela's curiosity in bees, And so she wanted to create some type of product that would allow her to help bees and also utilize her grandmother's recipe because it was a family recipe. So that's how she created her business, Me and the Bees, right? Now this girl is selling her lemonade at events all over. Like I said, she's in Whole Food stores all over the country. She's speaking at youth summits, conferences, expos, everywhere you are going to see her. Like I said, she introduced President Obama. So by her getting out there and being visible and letting people into her world and get to see her life as a young female entrepreneur, that's how she's making a lot of her money. She's doing these events and she's really branding herself really well in her space. And so that's why having or really knowing what your story is and getting comfortable enough to repeat it over and over and over and over again is really how you're going to draw a lot of business to your business. And the fifth reason why branding yourself is really good for business is because it gives you the freedom to transition and change businesses. And this is really big, so y'all listen up. The great thing about your personal brand is that it's yours. Keyword personal. So if you want to change businesses next week or next year, guess what? Your personal brand, you pick it up and you take it with you. You own it. You own the content, you own the products, and you own the impact. And so, personal example for me, I started off in the fashion industry, then PR, public relations. Now I'm into more of the branding, marketing space. My personal brand has transitioned in each of those businesses or industries, if you will. So the beauty of it is that when you start really building those relationships with your clients through your personal brand, they transition with you, right? You guys, a lot of you have transitioned with me. So it gives me the freedom and the liberty to change businesses if I want to. If I want to create or start a whole totally new different business, if I want to go into a whole new space in 2018, guess what? My personal brand gets to go with me. It doesn't belong to anyone else. I own the rights to my personal brand. You own the rights to your personal brand. Every speaking engagement, every book, every broadcast, every single thing that you've created, every piece of expertise that you've provided to your potential customer client, you own it. It goes with you. And so that's the beauty of it. And right now, I actually have a client who I actually saw her last night, and I've really been trying to get her to understand that, because she's a part of actually a franchise business where really what I'm trying to do with her, or what we're doing together, the plan is to allow her to stand alone as the expert in this field, not as a direct reflection of the company she's a part of, because realistically, you're not going to stay with one company forever. Most people don't nowadays. So if she decides to break off from this particular franchise in the next year or the next 3 or 4 years, she needs to own all of her content. She needs to brand herself as the expert in that particular field, so that whether she starts her own firm in the next year or 2, or rather she goes off to another company, she will always have her her name, the brand. She'll always have it, and people can transition with her as she continues to grow as an individual. So those are the 5 reasons why branding yourself as a business owner is a smart thing to do. I mean, honestly, you really can't lose from it. It's a lot more work, obviously, a lot more responsibility. But the more you get out there and really show people you know your stuff and let people into your world, the more that person first, product second whole thing will really come into play. And so if you've been doing it the other way around, I really encourage you to kind of shift your perspective on it starting tomorrow and really see the value in building those relationships. Think about your personal brand like a relationship with someone who you just met. And I promise you that you'll really start to see people trust you more, and you won't always feel like you're pushing products and services in their faces, because they know you and they love you and they will trust you. So